Oi, what you've been up to? Anyway, I'm gonna crap on a bit about why I think Facebook gaming can become a problem, in that it can certainly become very addicting, and there's a very good reason for that, I think, and that is that while these games don't appear to be much, generally there's not much to them. They're fairly simple. Uh, but the problems comes when you get one game, then you do a little bit. I'll give you a few examples shortly, but I'll just explain something. You start one game, right? And you do a few things. You level up, and you start to advance. You know, but and then see, a lot of these games you do something. Like, so, all right, well take for example Farmville, right? You plant something. With Farmville you have crops. You go around and plough your crops, plant your seeds, and it takes anywhere from about 4 hours up to 1 day, 2-3 days for things to grow. The problem is that you plant something, it takes 4 hours to grow. You got to keep coming back and checking on it, otherwise it'll wilt. So you keep coming back, and you harvest whatever you've grown, and then plant more seeds. Come back in a few hours and do it all again. It's all a repetitive thing. That would be fine if you had 1 or 2 games. But the problem with Facebook is that just about every game is like that. You start something, and then it takes ages for something to happen. So you've got to keep coming back, checking back. Otherwise, things will expire. You lose money, you lose points or whatever. So that's all right if you have 1 or 2 games. But when you get a whole list of them, that's when it becomes a problem. See, I was finding that I get up in the morning, and morning to me can be used in a very loose sort of context, because depending on what time of day I get up, it's morning. But it could be 4 p.m, 10 p.m, any time. I've got funny sleeping patterns. But anyway, that's another story. But the problem, see, with Facebook is that a lot of the games require you to go and meet other people. Like you gotta go and try and befriend other people, add as your neighbour in those games, in order for you to advance. So when you have neighbours, you send gifts back and forwards to them, and that helps you to advance as well. They can with Farmville, they can send you bits and pieces to a building, or they can send you an animal or a plant or something. So it becomes a little bit of a community, if you will. It is a social thing. It is social, but I don't think it's a good way. I don't think it's a good way to be social. And the whole thing was affecting my social life. But as I say, it's fine when you have 1 game, 1 or 2 games. But when you have a whole list of them, you start at the top, go all the way down the list. Some games can take 5-10 minutes to do at a time. Others don't take that very long at all. But when you have a lot of them, you've got to keep checking back to every one of them, you know, to make sure nothing's expired and to be able to collect your rewards in time, you know. So I used to have Farmville, Petville, My City Life, My Town. So I have a liking for city building games because when I was a kid and that, I used to like SimCity and AIV Global Evolution, which was a sequel to A-Train on PS1. So I've always liked that sort of game. And there's quite a few of those little games on Facebook. You know, all the games on Facebook they're pretty much all browser based, you know. But yeah, so they were really impacting on my social life, and so anyway, I recently culled my games list on Facebook. I had to, you know, I culled it down to about 5 or 6 games, whereas before I had about probably close to 30. It'd take me a couple of hours to go through them, and it'd take me a couple of hours to come back and go through them again, and you'd be surprised at how fast your day goes by doing that. It's just a repetitive cycle, going through them again. You keep going through them, making sure you don't miss anything, you know. Big problem. And that's the problem with Facebook. And I found while I was doing that, my PS3 games were suffering. I wasn't on the PS3 as much, I wasn't socialising as much. It affected my sleeping pattern, I was missing appointments. So I've had to really scale down my Facebook involvement. But yeah, so I that's pretty much my opinion of it. Anyway, I'll talk to you shortly, eh? You all stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you next time, eh? Bye.